The United States Navy's oldest serving aircraft carrier, the USS Nimitz, has once again made its formidable presence known in the South China Sea. Its return on May 26, 2025, following a transit through the vital Strait of Malacca, signals a continued American commitment to the region. Official photographs released on May 27 confirmed the supercarrier was underway, a clear message in these contested waters. This deployment is particularly noteworthy. It is widely understood to be the Nimitz's final overseas mission before its scheduled retirement in May 2026, marking the twilight of a long and distinguished service career for this iconic vessel. The weight of its history accompanies every nautical mile it now sails. The Nimitz's recent movements highlight a carefully orchestrated ballet of naval diplomacy and power projection. Before re-entering the South China Sea, the carrier, along with its escorting destroyer, the USS Curtis Wilbur, completed a significant port call. They visited Port Klang in Malaysia, a key maritime nation in Southeast Asia. During this visit, Malaysian naval officers were hosted aboard the American warship, fostering interoperability and strengthening bilateral ties. This engagement underscores the importance of alliances and partnerships in maintaining regional stability. Such interactions are crucial diplomatic tools in a complex geopolitical landscape, allowing for direct communication and mutual understanding between naval forces. This latest stint in the South China Sea is not the Nimitz's first this year. The carrier strike group had initially arrived in these waters in early May 2025, operating there for a period of 2 weeks. Its subsequent journey through the Strait of Malacca and the Malaysian port visit were part of a broader Western Pacific deployment that commenced in late March 2025. The stop in Malaysia was the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group's first foreign port of call during this deployment, and its second overall following an earlier visit to Guam in mid-April. These movements are meticulously planned, demonstrating the U.S. Navy's capability to sustain prolonged operations far from home. The Nimitz does not sail alone. It is the centerpiece of a powerful carrier strike group. This group includes not only the USS Curtis Wilbur, but also other formidable destroyers such as the USS Lena Sutcliffe Higbee and the USS Gridley. While the Nimitz and Curtis Wilbur headed back into the South China Sea from Malaysia, the USS Lena Sutcliffe Higbee was observed sailing south down the Malacca Strait. Simultaneously, the USS Gridley undertook a port visit in Sembawang, Singapore. These coordinated movements of the CSG components illustrate a flexible and distributed naval presence, capable of addressing multiple objectives across a wide operational area. As the USS Nimitz patrols the South China Sea, China continues to bolster its own military capabilities in the region, asserting its expansive territorial claims. Recent satellite imagery from May 19, 2025, revealed a significant development. 2 Chinese H-6 bombers were deployed to an airfield on Woody Island, part of the Paracel Islands. This strategic outpost has been extensively developed by Beijing through land reclamation. It now features a substantial airbase, complete with around 20 hangars designed to accommodate combat aircraft. This deployment, though potentially rotational, serves as a clear force protection mechanism and a projection of China's growing military reach. The H-6 bombers are not merely symbolic. According to the Pentagon's 2024 report on Chinese military power, there has been an increase in the numbers of the H-6K variant. These bombers are particularly concerning for naval planners, as they are capable of launching advanced supersonic missiles specifically designed to target warships. The presence of such aircraft on Woody Island significantly extends the potential threat envelope for any naval forces operating in the vicinity. This capability allows China to project power further south and to potentially challenge freedom of navigation in areas it claims as its sovereign territory, a claim not recognized by international law. Beijing's official stance remains steadfast. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian, speaking on May 8, 2025, asserted that the overall situation in the South China Sea is stable. He reiterated China's unwavering commitment to safeguarding its territorial sovereignty and maritime rights within these waters. However, these statements often stand in contrast to actions on the ground, or rather, on the reclaimed islands. The continued militarization of these features, despite previous assurances to the contrary, fuels regional anxieties and contributes to the rising tensions. The discrepancy between diplomatic language and military posture remains a central challenge. The development of outposts like Woody Island provides the People's Liberation Army with significant strategic advantages. The Pentagon's 2024 report highlighted this very concern, noting the extended reach of PLA aviation forces operating from these island bases. These facilities allow for more persistent surveillance, quicker response times, and a more robust defense in depth for China's interests in the South China Sea. They effectively act as unsinkable aircraft carriers, altering the strategic calculus in a region through which a vast amount of global trade passes. This ongoing military buildup is a primary driver of the increased naval activity by the US and its allies. The return of the USS Nimitz to the South China Sea is a visible component of a much broader United States naval strategy. This strategy is fundamentally aimed at ensuring what Washington terms a free and open Indo-Pacific. This concept encompasses the upholding of international norms, particularly freedom of navigation and overflight in waters China increasingly seeks to control. The U.S. Navy's persistent presence operations are designed to challenge excessive maritime claims and to reassure allies of American commitment. These operations are not new, but they have gained increased urgency amidst China's rapid military modernization and assertive behavior in the region. The Nimitz is not the only significant U.S. naval asset active in the Western Pacific. The USS George Washington, another aircraft carrier which is forward deployed in Japan, recently departed its home port of Yokosuka. It commenced sea trials in preparation for an upcoming summer patrol and was last reported underway in waters near Northeast Asia. Furthermore, the amphibious assault ship USS America was dispatched to the Philippine Sea, having left Sasebo, Japan, on May 19. This marks its final patrol as the forward-deployed amphibious big deck ship in Japan, with the USS Tripoli set to replace it, ensuring a continuous amphibious capability in this vital theater. Beyond naval deployments, the U.S. Air Force also contributes to this strategic posture. On May 19, 2025, B-52H Stratofortress bombers were deployed to Andersen Air Force Base in Guam. Their mission, described as strategic deterrence, adds another layer to America's power projection capabilities. These long-range bombers can reach critical areas across the Indo-Pacific, signaling to potential adversaries the reach and resolve of U.S. military power. The coordinated deployment of air and naval assets underscores a comprehensive approach to regional security, demonstrating a multi-domain operational capability that is difficult to counter effectively. The U.S. 7th Fleet, responsible for operations in this vast maritime expanse, frequently emphasizes its daily collaboration with allies and partners. Their stated goal is to maintain security and stability across the Indo-Pacific. A spokesperson for the 7th Fleet recently highlighted the combat readiness of its forces, affirming their preparedness to deter aggression and respond to crises. This constant state of readiness, combined with regular joint exercises and patrols with regional navies, aims to build interoperability and present a united front. It is a clear signal that the U.S. does not intend to cede influence or allow unilateral changes to the established international order in these critical sea lanes. The heightened military activities in the South China Sea inevitably provoke reactions from various international stakeholders, particularly those with direct interests in regional stability. Japan, a key U.S. ally, maintains a vigilant watch over Chinese naval movements. For instance, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force recently monitored the People's Liberation Army Navy Liaoning Carrier Strike Group. This Chinese naval formation was observed operating approximately 124 miles north of the disputed Senkaku Islands in the East China Sea around May 26. The JMSDF deployed the destroyer JS Takanami and P-3C Orion maritime patrol aircraft for this surveillance mission, a standard procedure reflecting ongoing regional tensions. In response to aircraft launches from the Chinese carrier Liaoning, Japan Air Self-Defense Force fighters were scrambled, a common occurrence indicating the proximity and potential for interaction between rival military forces. Adding to the complex maritime picture, the JMSDF frigate JS Yahagi was reportedly near the USS Nimitz carrier strike group in the Singapore Strait on May 26. The Yahagi was en route back to Japan after participating in the Lima 2025 Defense Exhibition in Malaysia. Such encounters, while often routine, underscore the crowded nature of these strategic waterways and the constant efforts by regional powers to maintain situational awareness and assert their presence. China, for its part, consistently frames U.S. naval operations as destabilizing. Beijing views the American presence, particularly freedom of navigation operations, as an infringement on its sovereignty and a challenge to its security interests. While publicly calling for stability, China's actions, such as the deployment of H-6 bombers to Woody Island, suggest a determination to consolidate its control over the vast swaths of the South China Sea it claims. This creates a cycle of action and reaction, where each side's moves are interpreted as provocations by the other, steadily raising the underlying tension in this critical maritime domain. Looking ahead, the geopolitical implications are substantial. The South China Sea is not just a flashpoint between the US and China, it is a vital artery for global trade in a region rich in natural resources. The continued militarization and competing claims threaten to disrupt commerce and escalate towards miscalculation or unintended conflict. The final voyage of the USS Nimitz through these waters serves as a potent symbol of America's enduring yet evolving commitment. The challenge for all nations involved will be to navigate these treacherous currents with diplomacy and a shared interest in preserving peace, even as military hardware becomes an increasingly common sight on the horizon.